Welcome to Canada, where now it's a crime if you support Canadian-made oil and gas. And it's not just hate speech. You could actually go to jail. Let's get into it.
Oh, yeah!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. I can't believe we have to report on this. This, again, I thought we couldn't get any lower as a country. I didn't think things could get any worse for us. But here we are at a crossroads. Once again, the NDP going after Canada's biggest export by trying to show just how sensitive they are to words. If you follow the tactics of the Liberal government throughout their tenure in office since 2015, they've put together internet censorship bills. They've stopped people like myself from expressing their opinions online by saying we're going to filter those things out, that we're only going to broadcast results from paid government shills who take our money to spread our indoctrination to the people. Well, now the NDP are saying, look, your words are so harmful that if you support anything that damages the environment, like Canadian-made oil and gas, you're going to jail. That's right. We're going to jump right into this one, folks. William Diaz coming out with a tweet here showing that this week the NDP attacked Canada's biggest export, the industry responsible for 7% of Canadians' GDP, Indigenous people, 500,000 Canadian families. The NDP wants to prevent us from promoting Canadian oil and gas, or be ready to spend 2 years in prison, or pay a $1.5 million fine. So, of course, we're talking here about Bill C-372, an act for respecting fossil fuel advertising. Now, if we go through, it says here, it is prohibited for a person to promote a fossil fuel-related brand element, or the production of a fossil fuel exempt as authorized by the provisions of this act and regulations. False promotion. It is prohibited for a person to promote fossil fuel and the production of fossil fuel in a manner that is false, misleading, or deceptive with respect, or is likely to create an erroneous impression about the characteristics, health, or environmental effects. Meaning, if you're going to talk about things like carbon tax, or health or environmental hazards of fossil fuels, its production, or the emissions that result from its production or use. So again, if you talk bad about the carbon tax, if you talk bad about anything like that, so like if I were to talk about axing the tax here on this channel, well, I could go to jail. Considerations, the general impression convoyed by a promotion, and the literal meaning of a statement contained in a promotion are to be taken into account in determining whether a promotion is made in such a manner. Here are the promotion and prohibited elements. It is prohibited for a person to promote a fossil fuel or the production of a fossil fuel. A person, not a company, not an entity, a person. A, in a manner that states or suggests that the fossil fuel, the production, or the emissions are less harmful than other fossil fuels, their production, or the emissions. Goes on to say that every person who contravenes subsection 11-1 or 11-3 or 12-1 or -2 is guilty of an offense and liable on summary conviction to a fine not exceeding $50,000 or to imprisonment on a term not exceeding 6 months or both. Offense by retailer. Every retailer who contravenes section 9(1) is guilty of an offense and liable on summary conviction. For a first offense, a fine not exceeding $3,000, and for a subsequent offense, a fine not exceeding $50,000. Offense by a producer. Every producer who contravenes subsection 9.1 is guilty of an offense and liable on the summary conviction of a fine exceeding $500,000 or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years, less a day, or to both. Every producer who contravenes Section 6 is guilty of an offensive and liable on conviction on indictment to a fine not exceeding $1 million or to the imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years or both, or on the summary conviction to a fine of not more than $500,000 or to the imprisonment for a term of exceeding 1 year or both. And this is product or promotion offenses for a producer. Promotion offenses for other persons. Every person other than a producer, here we go, who contravenes Section 6 is guilty of an offense and liable on summary conviction to a fine exceeding $500,000. So, again, this video itself could put me, if the bill was legal, up for a $500,000 fine just by telling you guys that, hey, I love Alberta oil and gas. There's the statement, ladies and gentlemen. False promotion. Every producer who contravenes subsection 7-1 is guilty of an offense and liable on conviction of indictment for the exceeding of $1.5 million or to imprisonment for a term of not exceeding 2 years or to both, or on summary conviction and fine not exceeding $750,000 or to imprisonment of a term not exceeding 1 year or to both. Now, this is disgusting. This is how they want to learn, or they want to make an example out of Canadians. That how dare you support freedom convoys? How dare you support overthrowing the government? You know, it sounds like an old January 6th thing. But now it's, well, now you can't support oil and gas, or we're coming for you and your livelihoods. Eva Chipiuk, of course, chiming in. If you haven't seen enough nutty talk from Ottawa, see the proposed bill below that wants to throw you in jail for something nice, saying something nice about oil and gas. That's right, straight to jail for you if you are proud that you work in the energy sector and you want people to know. Or you appreciate the energy sector for keeping you from freezing in the winter, which I'll remind you guys, the government is now talking about how they're having freak storms in the eastern parts of Canada, in places like Nova Scotia. I know they got a lot of snow, but folks, it's February in Canada. They call it the Great White North for a reason. This is the wedge issues that we were talking about yesterday with Pierre Poilievre. These are the things the government brings up to distract from their stupidity, although this is stupidity at its finest, in terms of mass inflation, low production of homes. I don't even have words. I don't even have the words for it. Or you can get fined for acknowledging the energy sector contributes to 7% of Canada's GDP. Sorry, GPT. I almost said. I'm thinking of Chat GPT. Jail, or for sum of $1.5 million, you can go home. Hopefully, it's not frozen. I have nothing more to say except we need adults in charge. Please get involved in the next election. I couldn't agree more. Please ask the candidates in your riding tough questions. You can ask them about this bill, whether they agree with it or not, and tell them whether you agree with it or not. Get involved early with these groups. We need to elevate conversation and the candidate pool in this country. Better statements couldn't be made, and I'm fully in agreement to that this is disgusting. And we need to see something done. Get in touch with your MPs, ladies and gentlemen. Start asking the tough questions. Of course, good old friend of the channel, Tamara Leach, also tweeting out, Canada has one of the most, if not the most efficient and environmentally friendly oil and gas sectors in the world. We should be shouting it from the rooftops. It's disheartening that these so-called leaders are this uneducated. I love Canadian oil and gas. Tamara, you better be careful because that may land you back in jail for saying such things, because we all know how Tamara has been branded a terrorist in Canada for speaking up for our rights. And this is the same thing, that if you were to promote Canadian oil and gas, or say, how many vehicles in Alberta drive around with I love Alberta oil and gas or Canadian oil and gas stickers on their vehicles? It's all jail time if this goes through. It's all $1.5 million in fines. The government wants to shut you up and put their boot on your neck should you talk poorly about them. But let me know, folks, what you guys think down below in the comments. Have we gone full Banana Republic? Is this too much of the loony bin for everybody to take at this point? This is why I've said we need to get very loud when it comes to our next elections. People say, well, my vote doesn't matter. If you don't want to vote, don't vote. But when things like this come to fruition, this is the result of not voting. This is the result of not doing your obligation as a citizen to ensure that those that are running the country are doing it by the accords that benefit the people that live within it. Again, I'm almost speechless as to how we have to even talk about this, but ladies and gentlemen, call your MPs, call your city councilors, call your branches of government, Show them your outrage. Tell them how stupid something like this is and what a waste of time that an NDP government would bring up such ridiculous demands of its people. If it's the first time here to the channel, I hope this video has earned your subscription. Make sure as you're hitting that button, you turn on your bell for notifications because we get censored all the time here on the channel. This week, numerous videos have been drowned out in the algorithm, so make sure to like, share, comment, get it out there, put it up in the algorithm for us, help get us in there, and join us this Friday night for our newest streaming show, Friday Night Fringe. It's replacing our Sunday night streams. So Friday Night Fringe will start on the channel this Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Central. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you there. We'll be talking about this for sure, as well as other things that have happened this week, and get a little bit of back and forth with the community. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you there, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and enjoyed this video. I'll catch you on the next one.